4-point win.
I'm just telling you.
Then it's all of a sudden it's
You can't feel good about
bungled punch away. 49ers
Packers.
Packers. Sunday at 4 on Fox. This is a literal one, so you guys need to be creative here. If the Niners lose, San Francisco's playoff probability dips to 17. If they win, it's still less than 50, but it's up at 47. So, Brew, is this a must-win?
Is that the stat you were talking about?
Yeah.
That was so damning of Brock Purdy?
Yeah, Brew to curse.
No, it's not a curse. That's a word. That means, you know.
Yeah.
But it is a must-win because perception sometimes is reality. Now, we know if they lose this game, their chances of making the playoffs really, really dip, as you just showed, right? They need to, not only, they have to have the best record in the division because of their division record. And Brock Purdy is not the reason that they are 5-5. Brock Purdy has been fine. He hasn't been perfect.
You know what's also fine?
But Brock Purdy has been very good.
Oh,
All right,
has he been fine or very good? Because I'll agree with you on fine.
You know what? See, I knew this was going to happen. I hope Dusty has it for me. I told them to hold this in the chamber in case, and anytime we talk, we don't have it.
What?
We don't have it. The Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes stats comparison. Where Purdy hasn't beaten everything. All right, so I'm just saying, Purdy, I still contend that Purdy is a better quarterback now than he was a year ago. But I said, remember when I was saying it, the numbers might not look like it, but I think he is a better quarterback. He's smarter, he's more experienced, he's obviously showing more mobility and running better. But if they don't make the playoffs, a lot of people will put it on Purdy. And I don't know if that'll affect his bag, but it could, so must win.
Wow, Greg.
Please wake me up when it's not a must-win for the 49ers. Yes, it's a must-win.
Drama up in here.
It's a must-win. Every week it's a must-win for this team. It's matter of fact, it's a must get healthy. It's a must play better. It's a must finish the game. It's a must-win. 49ers, when are you going to wake up? Everybody else is playing. Everybody else, except for myself, has expected you to be this great team. You haven't been. You got the Packers. Guess what they're trying to do? They're trying to put you out your misery. I already know what's happening and what your destiny is, but clearly you got some chance to fight back. It's a must-win.
So I also last year Brock Purdy played at, according to the voters, an MVP level. His team was the 1 seed. They were in the Super Bowl. This year, he's played at a league average level, and his team is average. Like that, I don't think we have to. So when Bruce said he's been fine, I agreed with him, and I think the Niners have been fine, but that's disappointing for both of them because Purdy was supposed to be this ascending player, and the Niners supposed to be the overwhelming NFC favorite.
You just disproved your own point because you just said that Brock Purdy played like an MVP level and they got to the Super Bowl, and this year he's not, and therefore he's playing like average, and now they're average. Then you would have to admit that Brock Purdy was a huge reason as to why they went to the Super Bowl last year. Therefore, he would be incredibly important to this team. Therefore, he would be a top quarterback on this team. If it just took him to be average in order for them to still be great, then why would it not be happening now? So that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But yes, is this a must-win? This is again, I resent that it's like specific towards Purdy because it's a must-win for the 49ers. Brock Purdy is not a big problem why this team is not succeeding. I saw JCT Slice and Travis O'Shea, they talked about it. Let me bring that up. So here we go. We got JCT Slice in the house and Travis O'Shea. There is, and it has very little to do with Brock Purdy. Let's get that out of the way. He isn't playing amazing, but he sure isn't playing bad either. He's been fine. To me, I think it's injuries and lack of attention to detail on the defensive end. It's insane. I would give, let's say, 10% of the blame to Brock Purdy. 40% goes to the defense and injuries, and I would give the other 10% to Kyle Shanahan. And then Travis O'Shea replies, Brock is still playing good. It's definitely not on Brock at all. So I agree with you completely. And yeah, Shanahan is a big part of it this year as well. I'd give more than 10%, but personally, but yeah, I agree. Oh, sorry, can you not see that whole thing? Well, that's what he says. So yeah, there you have it. I think Brock Purdy continues to be like the hyper focus of this all. And again, if you then give him his flowers for the last couple of years when he brought them to the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. But they don't want to have it both ways. They just want to blame him when the team underperforms, and when the team performs at a high level, well, then it's any quarterback can do it. Doesn't make sense. It just, that's not how things work. But so, yeah, the 49ers obviously have to win this game, though. Right, it is. It's like, are you going to be a playoff team or not? Are you going to be a top contender or not? And I know they're injured. They have their issues. And so I totally get that. But, like, now's the time where, like, you either have to overcome those injuries and those issues, or you don't, right? Like, that's where we're at in the season right now. You either find a way or you don't. You're either going to be able to salvage this season and get back to form or not. Things really at this point start to become binary. And this is going to be a tough game for both teams, because the Packers have to win this game too. The Packers are competing for the wild card. The division is probably going to be slightly out of reach for them. And so they got to make sure that they take care of the wild card. And right now it's shaping up that both the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers will be taking 2 spots of the wild card. And so it's like, well, there you go. So this is like the Packers need this as well, for sure. And they need to kind of get right. I know they got that win away. They got that win from the Chicago Bears, but they're not dumb. That's a well-coached team, a smart team. They know that they could have lost that game, that game could have been theirs to lose. They're not dumb. They're not tricking themselves. So they know that this is going to be an important game. And they're going to be at home, Lambeau, Brock Purdy, 49ers. They kind of slated this as kind of a little bit of a revenge game from last year. I don't know. I think too much has happened since then. If this game was earlier on in the season and both these teams were kind of cruising and kind of playing at a high level, then you could see that. I could see that being like a revenge game. I'm sure the Packers will still use that a little bit as motivating, but I don't think it could be like a really big rallying cry, honestly, which I'll talk about in a different video more. But my point that I'm trying to drive home is that the 49ers are still going to get like the best effort from the Packers, because they're also in it like, okay, it's time to get right. It's time to figure this stuff out, right? We're in the last stretch of this season. We gotta get going now. We gotta start to build momentum. So the 49ers are back or against the wall. They're on the road. This is a must-win game. Should be a great game. I'm really excited to see how it unfolds. This is definitely one of those top circle games. When you first see this get released, you're just like, all right, let's go. In terms of the schedule release, so this should definitely be as advertised, 2.5 points. So it's obviously being predicted to be a pretty close game for the most part. And yeah, I mean, I think we're about to find out, honestly, things about both these teams. I think this has the opportunity to be a pretty decent barometer game for both teams, right? If the Packers win this game really convincingly, it kind of shows that the 49ers are just probably not going to be able to overcome the issues that they've had throughout this season. And it also kind of shows that the Packers are capable of getting right, of winning convincingly, of putting teams away. The 49ers find a way to edge out this win. If they win convincingly, for that matter, like, it shows like, hey, yeah, we got off to a weird start. Yeah, we had injuries. Yeah, we've had some problems, but we're still a great team. Stop counting us out just for the sake of it, right? Like, you're jumping to these conclusions. So there's a lot to learn from this game, and those are usually my favorite games, because sometimes games are like, yeah, this is a good game, it's an interesting game, but I don't know what I can learn from it. This is definitely one of those games where I feel like there's a lot to learn for both teams. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about this being a must-win for the 49ers and Brock Purdy, I suppose. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.